Today's topic is the mother of the Belur Mutt. It's not about Holy Mother. Holy Mother is the mother of the universe. So today we're talking about Swami Kripamayananda, whose birthday falls in this month of November. So he was called that. He is the mother of the Mutt. That was the people who lived with him, they used to call him like that. A very unique monk, as it was being read about self-abnegation, fully self-abnegation manifested in Swami Kripamayananda, perfected in the path of Nivriti, nothing for himself, and a tremendous work, tremendous perfection, and everything for the sake of others. That is Swami Kripamayananda, shining example of the ideal Karma Yogi as envisaged by Swami Vivekananda. He was a saint by all standards, but saints are very difficult to be recognized. Not everyone can recognize a saint. They have not outer charm, but when those who seek and can have little power of understanding, when they go near him or her, they immediately feel the greatness, purity, holiness of that being. It is felt by the people. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to say that who is a saintly person, who is a real devotee of God, he said, when you approach a person, if you have automatically God's name coming to your lips, then you know that person whom you approached is one of the greatest devotees. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to say. Swami Kripamayananda was a blazing purity. That would be felt. And not the less being other than Sri Ramakrishna said, that he is pure to his very bone marrow, heart porjanta shuddha. Even bones are so pure. So he is very pure. He never knew what his impurity is. We'll find some of the examples. So, once a young man came to Mahaprabhu Swami Shivanandaji at Belur, and he was talking about his past sinful life. And Baburam Maharaj happened to be near Shivanandaji that time. He also heard all what that young man had done. And he was repentant for that, for talking about sinful. And that man went. And then Baburam Maharaj asked what he was talking about. To Shivanandaji asked. Shivanandaji then said, you didn't understand what we were talking about? No, not a word of it I understood, what thing happened to him. Then he said, it's not for nothing that Sri Ramakrishna said that you are purity incarnate. That was Swami Kripamayananda. He could not understand anything of impurity because it never crossed his mind. Never any impure thought crossed the mind of Swami Kripamayananda. Swami Ashokananda, who met Swami Kripamayananda, he said, seeing him, you could not but be impressed by the purity of his being. It was as though a flaming purity were walking there in the grounds of the monastery, Belur. When Baburam Maharaj first visited Sri Ramakrishna, that beautiful incident, Ram Dayal brought him, and he was a young man. And he asked, where do you live? Oh, Atpur. Oh, I know this person from Atpur. Baburam Maharaj, how do you know them? So, Kalu and Kola. And he says, they were in Dhamapur when they were there, their relative was there, so I know them. Then he said, you look to be, he became very familiar and said, let me wear your hand. That's how Sri Ramakrishna used to judge the spiritual capacity of a person. And he saw his face intently, his face, his eyes, Baburam Maharaj's eyes, all he saw. And he said, give me your arm. He took his arm in his hand and said, oh, it's light. You have a great spiritual quality. And then he had said, his very bones are pure. And when Sridhar left Belur, Sri Ramakrishna needed to be taken care of. He was so pure that not everybody can touch him. When he was touched during Samadhi, some impure-minded person touches him, he used to shout, cry. It was very painful for him. Embarrassment for the person who touches and embarrassment for Sri Ramakrishna, pain. So he said, this one is the one who is pure and daradi. He used to call him daradi. He feels for others. He has very compassionate heart, very kind heart. So this person is, can he ask his mother, can you give your son to me? So mother said, yes, I can, but no one gives his son for nothing. I have something I want from you. So what do you want? So I want two conditions. One is that I should always remember you. I should never forget you until even last breath. Yes, that can be given. And what is your next thing that you demand? Next is, none of my children should die before me. So that, and Sri Ramakrishna said, okay, done. Both will be granted. And that's how Baburam started living with Sri Ramakrishna. Baburam's sister was married to Balaram Ghosh. So Balaram Ghosh was a very close devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. So Baburam, seeing Baburam, Sri Ramakrishna said, you looked up to be like one of us in the very first meeting. And that night they were there. At that night, that Ram Dayal was a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, admirer. He said, we will stay overnight there. And Sri Ramakrishna and Baburam both were arranged to sleep on the veranda, on the southeast veranda, where there are now bookstalls are there. Just outside Sri Ramakrishna's room, they have a bookstall on the veranda. That used to be often used by the guests of Sri Ramakrishna. Northeast is the opposite side, where Sri Ramakrishna had taken Swami Narendranath and fed him and said, you are in Narayana. The southeast is one, where there was arrangement for Baburam and Ram Dayal to sleep at night. So they had dinner at late evening and then slept. And as soon as they slept, and Sri Ramakrishna comes with all his dhuti under his armpit, naked like a small 5-year-old boy, and wakes up Ram Dayal. Ram Dayal, are you sleeping? So then both of them sat up and said, no, we are awake. You see, Narendranath has not come here. He is very pure, very sattvic. He is Narayana himself. He is such a wonderful person. I feel so depressed, so sad if I don't see him now and then. Can you tell him that he should come to see me? He has not come here for many days. Ramdayal said, of course, we will report him tomorrow morning itself when we go home. Then they lay up again. After some time, again Sri Ramakrishna said, and comes and starts, are you again sleeping? He forgot that he has already told. And he said that, will you tell to Naren, he has not come for many days, and he started talking all glories of this Naren, young boy, is such a pure, good, all this Narayana, all these qualities. They sat together and then again slept. Like that it happened throughout the night, and he was talking to them, and Sri Ramakrishna said, oh, I disturbed your sleep, oh, sorry, I go. And after some time again comes and wakes them up. Baburam was not annoyed. He only felt the love that Sri Ramakrishna had to this boy called Naren, who must be so hard-hearted, so much loving personality. He didn't come. He has forgotten, almost forgotten to this person and has not come for many days. He should go and tell him. That was the impression of Baburam, how Sri Ramakrishna loved Naren. Nothing that his sleep was disturbed. That Baburam finally was given to Sri Ramakrishna, and he became servant Sri Ramakrishna. When Baburam first visited, that was the test. At their very first meeting, Sri Ramakrishna seemed to sense Baburam's purity. When he entered into Samadhi, Sri Ramakrishna could not bear the touch of impure people, and only Baburam was fit to that. And Baburam, so pure, but he used to say, to touch Sri Ramakrishna, we have to pray that nothing impure comes to our mind, otherwise it will be a big embarrassment, you will feel pain, you may cry out. So he had to be perfect for that cause. That was very difficult. Baburam was born in 1861, December 10th, in Artpur, a village 65 kilometers from Belur, on the way to Jairambati. There is the village. And that village is quite famous now in the Ramakrishna mission, because there was the place where Swami Vivekananda, Narendranath, and his brother disciples, all 9 of them together, they took the decision to renounce the world and become monk. On that 24th December evening, they had lit a fire, the bonfire, on the courtyard of Baburam Maharaj at his ancestral house in Artpur, and there Swami Vivekananda described the glory of renunciation, citing the example of the life of Jesus Christ, without knowing that it was Christmas Eve. And they all promised that decided and promised that they are going to renounce the world. Later they came to Varanagar Mutt and they did Viraja home. That is the home that fire worship done, ritual done before getting sannyas. Or you denounce your all possessions and all attachment and you live to life of renunciate. That is called Viraja Homa. That they performed and took sannyas. Baburam Maharaj was from very young age. All these direct disciples that came to Sri Ramakrishna, 16 of them, were very unique since very childhood. And Baburam Maharaj, at the age of 8, he used to dream. He had a vision, dream that he would like to live in a place with a monk or a holy man on the bank of Ganga and in the wooden woods, deep woods, so that he could meditate there. Like that thought at the age of 8. You can see how these people are all made. Everyone was so great, unique, that someone said it's the love of Sri Ramakrishna that they bound together in an order. Everyone was capable of making one Ramakrishna mission. Like that power they had. But all this power were gathered together and were lived under the leadership of Swami Vivekananda, bound by the love of Sri Ramakrishna. And when Baburam saw, when he came to Belur, he saw Panchavati, he felt that this is the dream I had from my childhood, that I want to live in such a place. It was very nice for them. So Sri Ramakrishna said that he was born with a portion of Radharani, means so much beloved of Krishna, that Radha herself, the portion is incarnated in Baburam. And Baburam also had great love for God in that way. Once he went to, in 95, 96, he was we had gone to Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, he took a dip in a pond and was meditating. And suddenly he found that a young girl with wearing expensive jewelry and shining clothes came and put a dish of sweets in front of him and then went away. Then he inquired, who is that lady, so pure, so shining, so devoted? And inquired and they said, no one is like that here. We are all poor people. Who will you find such a rich person here? So the person there who used to live there said, it must be Radharani that gave you darshan out of your devotion and offered you sweets. Sweets were really placed in front of him. So that was his devotion and he had such vision of God. He used to always meditate there, saying Pyari Ji. To Radharani, he used to say Pyari Ji, more beloved one, like that. So, this Swami Kripamayananda, love for all made him the mother of Belur. When Swami Vivekananda came back from the West and established the Ramakrishna mission, and he made a rule in Alambajar Mutt that there should be meditation in the morning. Always have to get up in the morning and meditate. Now, this Baburam Maharaj was very close to Swami Vivekananda. You know that before his passing away also, he walked with Swami Kripamayananda and said where to cremate his body and all that he instructed Baburam Maharaj. So here, that Baburam Maharaj somehow failed to get up in the morning. And bell was rung, and then after meditation finished, Baburam Maharaj came to Swami Vivekananda and gave him punishment. The punishment was already, rule was made that whoever cannot wake up early in the morning at 4 o'clock, he will not get food at the mutt. He will have to go out and beg his food, or beg his alms. So Baburam Maharaj said, I am ready to get punishment, now please punish me. When Baburam Maharaj said this to Swami Vivekananda, so strong looking person, Swami Vivekananda, he started shedding tears. Baburam Maharaj was a little 2 years senior to Swami Vivekananda. Baburam, are you asking me to punish you? Who am I to punish you? He was shedding tears. Then Raja Maharaj said, yes, nobody is punishing anyone. Rule has been made, we follow the rules. Nobody is punishing anyone. Then Baburam Maharaj really went out to beg food just to keep the rules, so that the novices who are joining, they are trained to come and follow the rules. some little punishment for that. Holy Mother loved him, Baburam Maharaj, very much. So once devotees from Malda came and said, we want to take Baburam Maharaj to Malda so that he lives with us for a few days and gives some talk. He was so pure, not a great orator, but his presence itself was so influencing. And Mother said, no, he's not well, he's frail, his health was the lowest. So Mother said, no, you can't take him. So the people do not leave. Next day again, they remain in Kolkata, and next day again visited Mother, please, I want to take Baburam Maharaj. So Mother, after their repeated request, Mother called Baburam and said, they want you to go to Malda, what do we say? Baburam said, I have nothing to say. Whatever you say, that I will do. If you want to send me to Malda, I will go. If you ask me to go and jump in the water, I will jump in the water. If you ask me to jump in the fire, I will jump in the fire. Whatever you will say, that I will do. I have nothing of my own. This is called self-abnegation, total surrender. And Baburam Maharaj, the one who knew the divinity of Holy Mother, that was so wonderful. Kripamayananda's devotion to Sri Sarada Devi was born of a direct awareness of her divinity. He had no doubt about Holy Mother's divinity. And another time, people from East Bengal came. That was still in India, East Bengal, and they wanted to take him to East Bengal. And Holy Mother was not very easily agreeable, but he agreed later on. And he created such an influence in East Bengal that the whole community, Hindus and Muslims, all were thronged around him. And they asked him, Baburam Maharaj, please give a talk. So he talked about dharma, about bhakti, and about how to gain the knowledge and all that. Then the audience said, Maharaj, please talk about prema, about love. So he said, what to talk about love? I will tell you a story. That somebody came as a hawker, on the street hawker, and he had something on his head. And he asked, do you want to buy love? Do you want to buy love? Some love seller had come. And everyone saying that I can buy love, all came down and asked him, yes, we are interested in buying love. What is the price? He said, the price of buying love is giving your head. Are you ready to give your head? Then only you can buy love. Head here means ego. You cannot have anything to say of your own. When you have to have love in your heart, you have to fully give up your ego. Then the love in your heart rises. Your ego and love, they don't go together. That story he said. What should I talk about love? Love is something you need to sacrifice your everything, and then only you earn love. But his contribution in Bangladesh was great. Baburam Maharaj's contribution in Bangladesh. Once, Swami Brahmananda sent 3 persons for initiation to Holy Mother. Seeing them, Holy Mother realized, Holy Mother never returned anyone from giving her grace, but these 3 were something very different than others. Holy Mother also couldn't agree to give them initiation. He said, seeing them, he said, no, I can't do it, please forgive me. But these persons, having apichet, sudra, charo, bhajate, mamananya bhag, even the bad person, if they resolve to do good, then they should be considered as good. So they stayed there, and next day again come, Mother, please bless us, please bless us. Then Mother agreed to that and said to Sri Ramakrishna, I asked you to give some person to do my duty, to serve them, but you are bringing some persons. So still then agreed. And this news went to Raja Maharaj and Brahmanandaji, and Baburam Maharaj also heard that she had even initiated those persons whom Swami Brahmanandaji refused to accept as disciples, and said only Mother can accept you. How much was the condition, their condition you can think of. Then Baburam Maharaj, when he heard this news, he said, mercy, mercy. It is by this glorious compassion that the Mother is protecting us forever. We can't express in words the poison that she has accepted. If we had done so, we would have been burned down to ashes. Baburam Maharaj was, Swami Kripamayananda was very popular. Once in Jairamati, he went there, before I come to that point. He went there and he saw beautiful lotus flowers in a pond. He jumped into the pond to pluck the flowers, and he plucked a lot of flowers and he rushed to Holy Mother and worshipped Holy Mother's lotus feet with those lotus flowers. But he didn't know how the water is. When he came out, there were numerous leeches that were biting him, sucking blood from his body, and his body has become red with blood. With that, he goes to Holy Mother. Holy Mother said, "What did you do? Without tasting water, without knowing how the pond is, you just jumped there. Don't be so rashful in doing the things." Holy Mother scolded him, but this shows his love for Holy Mother and reverence and how seeing the flowers. You remember how Sri Ramakrishna's father once was going to meet his daughter in another village far away. On the way he had walked quite a lot, he saw a beautiful bale tree and new bale leaves had come. He forgot about visiting his daughter. He plucked the bale leaves, came back to his house to worship Shiva, and that would satisfy him. Again then he went. Sometimes this emotion, when you see the things, this cares, you remember of God by seeing these things which are associated. So this is very natural. That happened to Swami Kripamayananda also. So during Durga Puja in 1912, what happened is on the day of Bodhan, the first day, it's the Shashti. On Saptami, Astami, Navami are the official puja days, 3 days. This is before that Saptami. Bodhan, when the mother is supposed to be awakened. And mother is she's invoked, her presence is invoked, and from next day the real puja will start. So when that was there in Belur, the Bodhan was taking place, it was arranged that Holy Mother would visit in the evening. Holy Mother was not coming, so Baburam Maharaj was turning out, he had not come, he had not come, he was very eager to him, almost seeing every moment that she would arrive. Then he found that no banana plantain was put at the main gate, and there were no this pot full of waters. It was supposed to welcome Lakshmi. You see, Durga Lakshmi, they come, you need to have the proper welcome for them. So banana plantain, banana trees have to be put on 2 sides of the door, and the water should be there to welcome vessels decorated with a beautiful water and one coconut fruit, or green coconut fruit. So he asked, put that. That's why Holy Mother is not coming, it's being late. So Holy Mother finally came, and they took so much care, and Holy Mother was so pleased with the Durga Puja. And later on, Golap Ma conveyed to Swami Saradananda that the Holy Mother was very pleased with the Durga Puja in 1912. The Swami was simply lost for words. Seeing Swami Premananda nearby, he said to him, "Baburamda, did you hear that?" And Premananda, saying, "Indeed, I did," hugged him in sheer delight. He hugged Swami Saradananda. When Holy Mother was pleased, tasmin tuste jagat tustam. What else needs to be pleased? So he was so happy, he went and jumped and hugged Swami Saradananda. That was the joy that he felt when Holy Mother was pleased. Swami Narendranath, before he even went for the tour in India, at Bariprajat, he once became very sick in the Varanagar Mutt in 1887. So he fell seriously ill and turned delirious. Baburam was terribly anxious for him and began to weep, fearing that Narendra might die. He was pacified when Narendra assured him, saying, "Don't weep, Baburam. I have much work to do, the shape of which I am beginning to visualize. I shall not die till I have finished my work." You see, so Sri Ramakrishna had given him great responsibility, and Swamiji was aware of that. He said, "Before I do that, I will not going to die. Sri Ramakrishna will not open the box that has enclosed me." When Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda passed away, Swami Brahmananda became the head of the organization, and he took the charge of the organization, and Swami Premananda became the manager of the Belur Mutt. The manager is in charge of the Belur Mutt. That time was shown that how he perfectly did the work of all works. Manager's role in Belur Mutt is a huge role. Many monks live there and people visit. Now they visit in thousands. That time also hundreds of people used to visit every day. And small number of people working there, less number of brahmacharis working there. It was not an easy job to take care of the devotees. And he had to take care of the worship. He himself used to worship Sri Ramakrishna. And he had to take care of the cooking, food, etc. He was in charge of all the brahmacharis and monks living there. And also he had to take care of the guests that used to visit Belur Math. All this responsibility, he used to work tremendously for them, and all with lot of devotion. Once he asked Sri Ramakrishna that I want to have the realization of God, I want to have the vision of God. So Sri Ramakrishna said, let me ask Mother Kali. So he went there and he prayed to Mother, Baburam wants to have a vision. So Mother told him, Sri Ramakrishna, that Baburam will not have vision, but he will have jnana. He was so loving, so much of devotion, but it all was the manifestation of his knowledge of the divine. He saw God in every being. His all loving service was a result of seeing God in everyone. So his training of the novices who joined the Belur Math had begun. So people say, one monk reminisced later on, just after I had joined the order at Belur Math, I happened to be present when Swami Kripamayananda was severely scolding another monk. I said to myself, this holy man loses his temper. As soon as this thought crossed my mind, Swami Kripamayananda suddenly turned to me and smiled. I knew that his anger was never a real anger, but only employed as a means to instruct us. From that moment on, I could never be upset when he scolded me. On the other hand, I felt a strange undercurrent of joy and considered his reprimands to be blessings. You see, when holy man does something, there is a story of Bhamakapa, one is to be great devotee of Mother Kali, who used to live in Tarapit in Bengal. So people used to come, he told him they used to have some holy feeling and all that. Sometimes people felt that they are cured of their disease. And once one person came, he couldn't walk, he came somehow not like walking, but he wanted to have the grace of Bhamakapa. Bhamakapa, can you please help me? I cannot walk, my legs are not all right. So Bhamakapa, what does he become angry? What are you saying? Are you making me like a doctor to treat you? You go away. And he kicked him with his foot. And he fell down, that man. It is like a thing of anger, doing something punishing. It doesn't behave of a saintly person like the son of Bhamakapa, the Bhamadeva was his name. Very extremely devoted, like Ram Prasad, like Kamalakanta Bhamakapa was another little later time. So he kicked that person, and when that person gets up, he finds his legs are all right. He can walk. That was his grace, that was his saying, giving the boon, his scolding, his punishing was that. And people in Belur Math started feeling that whenever Baburam Maharaj scolds, that happens. Once one person was there and they had to cut some vegetables, fresh vegetable in the morning. So Brahmachari was cutting food and they ran away. Then he came back and he said, where have you gone, Baburam Maharaj? Sir, Maharaj, my stomach was not right, so I had to call of nature. Then Baburam Maharaj scolded him. You Brahmachari, you cannot control yourself little, and you had something and you had to rush away during the work it is given to you. What type of self-control you have? He scolded him, Brahmachari. Then what happened next day? Baburam was there that time, he felt that wound, he had that experience. And then he went to, he had devotedly to stall, and then he went to Brahmachari, please forgive me. Why? I told you and I had to experience the same thing. Sri Ramakrishna showed me that it is not unnatural. So that happened, that it says. Wonderful, wonderful experiences with Baburam Maharaj. So much devoted. And once we had gone to Puri, and in Puri, he found that one Christian priest had come, and people are all around him in the street. And he was talking against Hinduism and praising Christianity. And he was saying all negative things about Hinduism. It was too much for Baburam Maharaj to hear that, which was an untrue thing he was saying to the people and trying to influence. He went there and started talking with the priest and said, you are not doing the right thing. What do you know about Hinduism? You are not saying the true things. So you should not say this thing. He scolded that priest. And the crowd went away and the priest also went away. He sleeps at night and Sri Ramakrishna comes in the dream and he says, Baburam, what did you do? It was not right of you. He was talking about me. He was talking about Jesus and glory of Jesus. He was talking about me in the form of Jesus. Why you scolded him? Tomorrow morning when you wake up, go to him and ask for pardon. He goes and finds, searches where the priest was living, goes to him and says, please pardon me, my master came in the dream and he scolded me that I should have not behaved with you like that. How much they were always guided, carried. That was their life, always guided by Sri Ramakrishna. Yes, we read only in the life of Swami Vivekananda. Everyone's life was guided by Sri Ramakrishna. When Baburam Maharaj, when Swami Kripamayananda became president of the order, Swami Vivekananda was the one so glorious and everyone followed for international fame, national fame, oratory, intelligence. His quality was incomparable to anyone. So, after he suddenly passes on 4th July 1902, all the mental of whole organization in India, in the foreign, all falls on Baburam Maharaj, who had not that this external caliber, you see, not great oratory, not great influence. So Baburam Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda was a little scared. How will I run this? And then he prayed to Sri Ramakrishna. How will people follow me? They are all know Swami Vivekananda and his personality. I have nothing like that. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, why do you worry? Why do you worry of the people? They will become like a follower. They will become like earthworm. That was the used. Manus kecho koi jabe. Why are you afraid? They will always all follow you. Do your duty. And how Sri Ramakrishna was guiding and caring like that. By his grace, everything happens. Who are we to do? That's how the Baburam Maharaj's life was, but we still have to come to his life in Belur. That was a wonderful thing. He used to train people in how to serve Sri Ramakrishna. Baburam Maharaj was completely devoid of ego, completely devoid of any kind of, he didn't like that. He asked the monks, impressed upon the monks to become completely devoid of ego and completely devoid of any kind of carelessness, completely devoid of any kind of worldly desire. Everything had to be done perfectly from beginning to end. That taskmaster was Swami Premananda to the brahmacharis. And he taught through personal example. He joined the monks, what Baburam Maharaj did, joined the monks in dressing vegetables, preparing food for cows, making cow dung balls for fuel, and clearing weeds. He did not consider any word beneath him, although he was the manager of the monastery. He would work along with the youngest brahmachari. He never just gave orders. Every work here is sacred, he would say. Whether you cut vegetables, whether you prepare cow dung balls, whether you go out to give lectures or worship in the chapel, everything is service unto the Lord. You have to learn to do everything with an equal sense of reverence and sanctity in your heart. When he was the manager of Belur, so his service to devotees was great. So whenever people came, he welcomed, whether it is in time or odd times. Sometimes people came in odd time. So he used to cook himself because others were resting. Brahmachari or cook were resting after doing whole morning work. Himself cook some vegetable and rice and give them a prasad. Because he believed that whoever eats something in Belur will purify their mind and they will be happy. And he used, whenever anybody came, known or unknown, he used to sometimes sit very informally with them, on their level on the ground, and talk to them about Sri Ramakrishna, about holiness, and became just like friendly with everyone. Once one person came and with a small child, and child started crying. And they said, he is now hungry. The baby had to be fed milk. So there was no milk. Where will that they will find? There was no milk powder system that time, and carrying bottled milk was not there at that time. So Baburam Maharaj said, there is no milk here, but some milk is left for offering to Sri Ramakrishna. He ordered the brahmachari to bring that milk. Give some little for Sri Ramakrishna, give rest to this baby. The brahmachari said, that is kept for Sri Ramakrishna. I said, bring that. and that was brought and given. That service to the baby and service to Sri Ramakrishna was same for Babu Ram Maharaj. He was so much, he used to love devotees so much. He would explain, householders have much to do. Is it always possible for them to arrive at the proper time? And what can we do but serve them? This costs only a little physical effort. Through the Master's grace, nothing is wanting here. Should we not be blessed by doing these things for his children? Swami Ashokananda's example, I said what he saw in Babu Ram Maharaj, the purity, blazing purity that was moving in the monastery, he says again. He had such a great love for devotees. He was strict with the monks, but devotees were kings. He could never see fault in them, never. He would serve them without sparing himself. And he taught the monks this kind of selfless service, tremendous service. Some of them never had any opportunity of going to bed at all. One of them once told me, I didn't have any time to sleep in those days. I would just lie down on a bench for 2 or 3 hours. If among the younger monks there was grumbling, the Swami would say, look, people suffer so much in the world. They come to Sri Ramakrishna's place to get some peace. It is your duty to make them feel welcome. It will be of great benefit to you. It will be of great benefit to them. When Swami Kripamayananda spoke, people listened with rapt attention. That was because he would pour his heart out into whatever he said. He would hardly talk of anything but God and spirituality. Sri Ramakrishna pointed out that a saint shuns all vain talk, anya vacho vimunchata, as the scripture tells us, and speak only of God. This was very nature of Premananda. So Babu Ram Maharaj was once going to do puja with a plate of flowers and sandal in his hand, climbing the stairs. The temple was in the second floor that time, in Belur. Not the temple now, the big temple that it is, the old temple that we call Lord Shrine. He was going and Swami Vivekananda was teaching to brahmacharis about Brahman. He says, you have to search for Brahman. Brahman is very much here. Can't you feel that Brahman, all-pervading reality, that infinite bliss? Can you feel this? Swami Vivekananda said with such conviction, such force, that everyone that was in the class on the courtyard of Belur Math, everyone felt the presence of Brahman then and there. Babu Ram Maharaj was walking on the courtyard, going upstairs. He heard this. He also felt the presence of Brahman and became still standing, still that place with the plate in his hand. After a few minutes, the spell was gone and everyone started working. Swami Vivekananda also started teaching. That was the influence of Swami Vivekananda once from Brahmananda and all devotees. He could bring that knowledge of Brahman and just impart it with his presence and with his words. That was Swami Vivekananda. When Swami Kripamayananda went to the temple and he meditated, they say it was an extraordinary sight to see that meditation. Always sitting straight and his nose, head in perfect position, long time he used to sit there. And someone says, I have seen Buddha in many places. Swami Buddha for order west and visited the west and other countries, so many places. But when I see Swami Kripamayananda in meditation, that is the best sight, most remarkable person in meditation I see, even greater than the Buddha images that I have seen. That was the greatness of this mutt, of the Belur mutt. He always felt for that. Swami Kripamayananda passed away in 1918, in December, in 1918, July 30. Before his passing away, he asked Brahmachari, one Gyan Maharaj, and said, can I ask you one thing? So Gyan Maharaj says, he thought that he might be instruct something to do, how to do spiritual practice. But Premanandi said, can you do one thing? He said, yes Maharaj, whatever you instruct I will do. Can you take care of the devotees when they came to Belur Math? That was his last instruction to the brahmacharis, taking care of all those devotees that those come to Math. Wasn't he really the Math of Belur, mother of the Belur Math, always in the living? Now also inspiration of Swami Premananda is still there. is there. There are monks who really care for the devotees. Sometimes we go and we don't get as we might feel at the time of Baburam Maharaj, but the times have changed, the works have become more responsibility, greater number of devotees. We may not get individual attention as we expect, but there is definitely a great love and system that takes care of and feels welcome. That when Baburam was a manager, so great scientist Jagadish Bose used to say that Belur Math is a strange place. Whenever we go there, people say, come, come, sit, eat. Asun, bosun, khan. That everybody welcomes, everyone is welcome and fed well. That was all Baburam Maharaj's time. That how we used to take care of that. At the end, Swami Brahmananda, on 27th July, 3 days before he passed away, he became sick in Deoghar. He got to Deoghar. Influenza was there, very severe type of flu. And there was a great saint that time, Balananda Brahmachari, he met him. And he said that this Swami doesn't have inclination to keep his body. He has lost his love for his body. So he asked Swami Premananda, can you put your mind in body? Can you regain your love for body? Otherwise you may lose. And when a monk loses his love for body, he gives up that body. So Baburam Maharaj said, I have no love left for body. Do you want us to love this rotten pumpkin? That's what he said, rotten pumpkin, you want to make love this? So then he was taken back to Kolkata and in Balaram Mandir. He started treatment, but for a few days it became severe. At the end time, then Swami Brahmananda came and he was pacing and talking to Baburam Maharaj. He was almost last breath coming. And he said, Baburam, do you remember Sri Ramakrishna? Do you remember Sri Ramakrishna? He said, yes. And he saw there was one oil painting of Sri Ramakrishna there, and he looked at it. And when Radha Maharaj said, Swami Brahmananda said that, then he said, yes, I remember. It's all his grace, Kripa, he said 3 times, and he left his mortal body. That Baburam Maharaj, who really was the mother of Belur Math, his legacy still remains, his purity still remains. That's how Swami Vivekananda once instructed him, Baburam, you are doing a lot of worship in the Belur Math with all the full attention. But whatever service, so one day he asked, today we are not going to do puja. Baburam Maharaj was senior, he was very respected, loved by all. I was going to say this thing. Swami Vivekananda told Baburam Maharaj that you don't give initiation to the disciples. If you give initiation, then your disciple and Swami Brahmananda disciple may quarrel. That was his saying. But what Swami Vivekananda was afraid was that Baburam Maharaj, if he start giving initiation, there will be so many devotees coming to him that they will not go up to other persons, not even to the president perhaps, who knows, who is so highly spiritual person. So he forbade Swami Premananda to give initiation. He was loved so much by the devotees. When he passed away, devotees came to Belur Math to make a temple for him. So monks said, no, we are not going to make any more temple. So we can make one memorial for him. Give some money, so we have service. There still stands in front of Swami Vivekananda's temple, there is a Premananda memorial that they made. But the money was collected for it so quickly, whereas Swami Vivekananda's temple was made half built, was lying. They were not getting money for that. They were not donating for a great person like Swami Vivekananda to build a small temple. But for Swami Premananda, all devotees came and take money and make his temple, or take money and make his memorial. That was his popularity that time. Naturally, Swami Vivekananda, he foresaw that and said, you will not be initiated, you will not make disciples, that he had said. One day, Swami Vivekananda said to Baburam Maharaj, today you are not going to do puja, today you will have to go to Belur Bazaar, to the village, and then serve someone there. So to service, to instill the importance of service, that's Swami Vivekananda's core founding of the Ramakrishna mission's uniqueness. And Baburam Maharaj went there, he found a widow who needed some service, he brought the widow to Belur Math, fed her, served her, and then Swami Vivekananda was very happy, and from tomorrow we are going to do that. That's how Swami Vivekananda all commanded, and all brother disciples listened to him as they were listening to their own Guru. Sri Ramakrishna's words and Swami Vivekananda's words were same for the brother disciples. Swami Ramakrishna was worshipping Sri Ramakrishna with full devotion, and his presence was living for him in Belur and living for him in the Paranagar Math. Swami Vivekananda comes from the west and says, you have to go to Madras. Without asking anything, without any argument, he says, okay, I'll go to Madras. New place, new language, no one he knows, many devoted, few known persons are there known to Swami Vivekananda. But he goes there and does miracle work. The whole work of Ramakrishna Mission in the south is ascribed to the prayer and it's tapasya of Swami Ramakrishnananda. And how Sri Ramakrishna used to choose only among the 60 people, he had to run the show of Ramakrishna movement all over the world. Swami Avedananda was sent here, Swami Saradananda was sent first, then he brought him back to make the General Secretary of Ramakrishna Mission, and he trained Swami Premananda this way. Wonderful, glorious life of Swami Premananda. One book is there by Swami Swananda translated. It's called Swami Premananda, The Love Incarnate. It's really very love personified, purity personified. Remembering him, talking about him, thinking about him, all makes our life pure. That's why so much love he had. Even to the last he said, serve the devotees. That is serving to Sri Ramakrishna. Serving devotees is not separate or divorced from worship of Sri Ramakrishna. Real worship of God, real knowledge comes when you serve your fellow human beings, those who seek peace and come to the temple in search of peace and blessing.